You might have watched One Punch Man and Harry Potter. Well, Mashle is like a child of both, involving a lot of muscles, magic, and badass satisfying moments. So, from MASH turning most guys into mashed potatoes or smashing bullies to the ground, behold, we've got the power of cream puffs and muscles! These are some of the most groundbreakingly satisfying moments from Mashle that will soothe your soul. So stick to the end of the video, because your soul will feel free after you watch number 1. Number 5. Mash beats Abyss Razor through his muscle magic. At number 5, we have Mash beating the living hell out of Abyss Razor. In episode 9, after chasing Lemon, who somehow always brings trouble to our team, Mash meets Abyss Razor, a masked guy who looks like one of the Anbu ninjas from Naruto. Like, come on, you can do better. The fight started mildly, with Abyss enjoying hitting Mash, but little did he know, Mash wasn't really fazed. I mean, the dude stabbed Mash's rock-hard abs, only to find out that the muscles weren't just for show. They meant business! Being stabbed in the stomach, Mash grabs Abyss and headbutts him so hard that the mask breaks. The headbutt was so overpowered that all the pent-up anguish left my body. Beneath the mask, we see Abyss Razor's real face. Who's got a Sharingan in the left eye? Oh, wait, wrong anime. This battle hasn't ended. This son of a beautiful woman uses his power to slow down Mash's movement, almost paralyzing him. Followed by a barrage of multiple slices and dices, trying to make Mash into sushi. At this point, we think that Mash was done for. But that's where we were all wrong. Mash muscles his way out and hits Abyss with an uppercut to the body so hard that his soul and 3 wet farts almost left his body. But that wasn't it! Mash wasn't done!
Fight back! Fight back! Fight back! Fight back!
While still mid-air, Mash jumps and knees Abyss from behind, breaking his back and shooting him to the other side of the hall. In a desperate attempt, Abyss charges one last attack, just to have Mash stop it with his bare hands. Mash bitch slaps him into the wall and begins a massive beatdown with all the muscles known to humans. Quads, glutes, hamstrings, biceps, you name it. Man is a walking, talking anatomy class. Mash then catches Abyss as he's falling and performs a deadly suplex into the ground. Damn, he got destroyed and disrespect worse than me in a Warzone lobby. Number 4. Mash beats Abel Walker for kidnapping Lemon. At number 4, we have Mash beating the sus lord puppet master Abel Walker. In episode 10, we see an epic duel between both Abel Walker and Mash. Well, he won't be able to walk after this one. Get it? You know, because his name is Abel Walker? No? Never mind. This dude is so annoying with his boring speech about weak people being inferior to him, and they should be eliminated. Well, I'm sorry, sir. That's not how the world works. On top of that, he kidnaps and drains the life out of Mash's friend. Anyways, the fight starts with Abel using his puppets to attack, only for Mash to play bowling with them. For the next few moments, Abel uses all sorts of attacks, throwing all sorts of puppets at Mash, including Pinocchio, but Mash just breaks them with ease. Then he brings out Finn, Mash's friend, who turned into a puppet. Mash hesitates as he won't hit his friend, so Abel uses Finn to beat the heck out of Mash non-stop, only to discover that the weapons are all broken and Mash without a scratch. Man, I want to be this powerful in life! Was the secret always to his strength eating cream puffs? Abel's frustrations begin to build and decides to get serious and bring his puppets out. He begins his attack thinking the victory is his, but Mash is fed up with this guy and his toys. So he breaks the big creepy baby and then sneaks behind Abel and uses an airborne tombstone piledriver. After watching the destruction of Abel, all my hatred for him was gone. Now I have reached inner peace. I have no enemies. Like Thorfinn. Number 3. Mash breaks Cell War's unbreakable mirror. In episode 12, just when we thought the enemies couldn't get more frustrating and annoying than Abel Walker, we got introduced to Cell War. One of the core members of Innocent Zero, he's first introduced as an angry, narcissistic, non-empathetic, evil, and every other bad word the English dictionary has. Just when we start liking Abel Walker, because of his backstory, Cell War starts torturing him but is ultimately saved by Abyss Razor, who instead got stabbed in the chest, which literally is triple times more frustrating than the scene should actually be, because we start liking the guy too. Damn it, I thought only Demon Slayer made us feel sorry for the enemy. How can someone be so hateful and annoying at the same time? Well, in their fight, it was clear that Cell War was miles above Mash in magical abilities and talking. Damn, this guy won't shut up! But Mash used brute strength to counter the onslaught of attacks thrown at him. But after Mash manages to break this guy's face, Cell War brings out a magic mirror that would, in theory, return the same spell of the enemies and hit them with more intensity. My anxiety peaked here, as all of Mash's friends started telling him not to mess with this spell. I mean, the guy went on rambling for about 5 whole minutes about how good his mirror is, and blah blah blah, and then BAM! It only took one high kick for Mash to destroy the mirror and Cell War's annoying face. His kick was so strong and satisfying that it led Cell War to retreat. Talk about absolute satisfaction! Number 2. Mash smashing Lloyd Cavill's face for bullying Finn. At number 2, we have Mash exerting justice on a textbook bully who decided to mess with the wrong victim. In the 3rd episode, we get introduced to Lloyd Cavill, who uses Mash on every single occasion he can. From getting Mash to wipe the floor, bullying him on multiple occasions, getting his shoes cleaned off, and tearing his books away, the man's the ultimate form of what a small PP bully is. But there's one thing you can't get away with when it comes to Mash, and that is hurting his friends. After bullying Finn, Mash has enough of this Draco Malfoy wannabe, so he grabs Cavill by his hair and smashes him on the ground till his eyes turn white and blood comes out of his mouth. Nothing is more satisfying than seeing a bully get what he deserves. While there are dozens of satisfying moments in Mashle, here are some honorable mentions. Mash breaks Professor Claude's magic wand. There's one thing that Mash cannot tolerate, and that is arrogance. So long story short, Mash got angry at Claude, who wanted to fail Lemon for being useless, poor, and failing to sabotage Mash in the exam. Lemon begins to confess in front of everyone the plan. Claude didn't care what the other students were saying because he's the professor and that he will fail both of them. He conjures a powerful spell as he's insulting them and provoking them to challenge him if they dare. That's when Mash breaks the wand like hard spaghetti. Mash buries Vice Principal Farman Kregos. Remember how Mash dealt with the arrogant brat Lloyd? Well, the Vice Principal was looking at the scene and still blamed everything on Mash and threatened to get him expelled. While Farman wasn't done talking, a flying knee came out of nowhere, breaking his face. He then dug up a hole, put the Vice Principal in it, and started throwing sand at him to the point where all his body was underground. Pretty satisfying, isn't it? Mash versus Chief Officer. After hearing the police hurt his dad, Mash breaks the door and goes to work on all the officers. But things turned interesting when the Chief Police decided to use all sorts of spells on Mash. But Mash deemed this guy's light show a joke and started to play every sport with all the attacks. To end the battle, Mash took a magic wand and threw it at the Chief's unbreakable barrier, which shattered the F out of it. Unable to comprehend what just happened, the officer just collapsed in shock. Nothing is unbreakable for Mashle. They gotta give up. Mash's duello match. During his first Quidditch match, a duello match, the other team were winning, taking advantage that Mash was still in the ground, unable to ride the broom. Also, they were using dirty tactics and they hurt the team captain. This made Mash truly angry, so he started kicking his legs so fast that he was flying on the broom. By putting a spin on the ball and throwing it with so much force, Mash was able to bring the victory for the team. What a way to shut the haters up! Number 1. Mash destroys Silva Iron for torturing Dot Barrett. Finally, on the number 1 spot, Mash destroys Silva. This moment began because Dot's thirsty ass wanted to save Lauren from Silva. In order to do that, Silva challenged him to withstand 5 hits from his magic. In addition, Mash was supposed to be part of the challenge and take 5 hits as well. Dot, trying to be a badass so Lauren would fall for him, decided to take 10 hits. Battered and bleeding, Dot succeeded only to collapse and be further attacked and humiliated by Silva and Lauren. This bitch has been working with Silva since the beginning. The plan was to manipulate them into fighting, and this is why I have trust issues. Anyway, Mash has had enough and steps and tries to punch Silva just to be blocked by his iron magic. Silva unleashes a bunch of attacks at Mash, which he just takes them as a man. In his last attack, Mash stops the iron halfway and begins his counterattack. He charges his triceps magic, ballista knuckle, and charges ahead, evading and breaking all of Silva's attacks until BAM! Mash lands a clean punch so hard that Silva would be pooping teeth for the next few days. In shock and in denial that he's inferior to a first year, Silva launches another attack, and this time, Mash, with so much force, breaks through the iron into his guts. The punch was so hard that his eyes looked like he was in the bathroom after eating Taco Bell. Once done destroying Silva's will and spirit, Mash turns his eye on Lauren. She then tried to use her female victim card to gain Mash's sympathy. And much to her surprise and satisfaction, Mash used the suplex move on her. He treats everyone equally. Mash is undoubtedly one of the most savage anime characters ever. From beating bullies to his own vice principal, the guy has got no chill. What were your most satisfying moments in Mashle? Let me know in the comment section below. Until then, see you in the next one. Peace.